Whoa. Hey, baby. Que paso? Live and in the flesh, it's Slick Diaz, a.k.a. Octagon Jones, a.k.a. Chill Sunnin, host of MMA Attic on MMA Island. I'm happy that you're joining me today. I've got a full-ass show for you. So, I've got the solo session, right? That's a constant. But the cool thing about my podcast is I've got these interwoven regular co-hosts that I have these mini shows with that make up, you know, we've got a little network of MMA knowledge and MMA content creators. So I like to rotate in a co-host, and we have different shows according to, you know, their specialties and what we tend to talk about when I'm just chatting with them. So I figure, you know, the more the merrier. And we've got an episode of Hand Wraps with Mal Pacino, Zach Harkness of MMA Island fame. He runs Underdog Island, which is one of our most promising geographical prospects in the MMA Isles. There's a lot of potential there. I've also got Intro to Degeneracy coming at you with Eddie Pennybets weekly. Just for the gamblers, you know, gamblers want that weekly content, so I got you. I don't know shit about it, but fortunately I got a friend who does. And he likes podcasting too. So I've got him, you know, right at the wing, right where I need him. I can just dish it to him when I need him because he's always a bucket. That's Eddie Pennybets to you. Like I knighted him, or he's been knighted by the Templar of Golden Gambling Coins or some dumb shit. So in Hand Wraps, we got a UFC 253 preview for you. So if you want to hear about last week's drama, make sure to, did I say preview? I meant recap. Me and Zach cover that for you, as well as, you know, what it means and some matchups maybe coming out of UFC 253, as well as covering the unknown bases for this upcoming card, because there's a lot of the times people who know a fair amount about MMA, like I like to think I know a decent amount, even though, you know, I know nothing. Actually, my picks are shit and never taken a class in my life besides karate for a little bit. So I don't know much, but you know, I'm really into it and I love it. But what was I saying? No clue. But let's get back on track. Damn. That's what happens every time, dude. I have to record this at least twice, and it takes me the full time to realize I can't use the first one. But yeah, we got a UFC 253 recap, as well as, yeah, that's what I was saying. We've got, you know, covering the unknown bases and trying to help you not be caught lacking in these fight prediction streets. We've got someone on the ground. We've got intelligence. This is the Game Bred Intelligence Agency. And we've got a specialty specimen. He specializes in this shit. So, yeah, Zach Harkness is going to help us through the ups and downs of the early prelims, so we're more familiar and we have more reason to watch it and we have more knowledge for the future. And then Eddie Pennybets is the same old. So before I get into the solo session, this podcast is brought to you by Fight Picks. Fight Picks is an app that allows you to make weekly in-depth picks about the entire UFC card and Bellator and all other MMA events for the most part, at least main, you know, like main organizations and stuff. Fight Picks is great because you can do custom shit with your friends. You can like make your own belt, and you can have league competitions with your pals, and, you know, say who's the fucking alpha dog in the cage. I think I'm sitting at about third still. I don't know. I didn't check after this last week. Probably because I slipped a couple spots. I didn't do too hot last week. I kind of ate it. So here's to hoping this week's better. this couldn't be possible without MMA Island. That is the platform that I operate on. I marooned on the MMA Isles and I never turned back. This is my home, and they, afford me a platform and all sorts of collaborative opportunities and opportunities within MMA media, and I'm just super grateful to be a part of the team. So make sure to follow all of our MMA Islands. We've got MMA Island, MMA Island Junior, Headline Island, the best in the game, Underdog Island. You'll see why you need to follow him in the show. The kid knows it all. Octagon Island. Follow Octagon Jones while you're at it. That's me. We've got Atticus. He's one of our interviewers. We've got it. We've got an elite team, and we're building. This is gonna be huge. So, yeah, this also couldn't be possible without the fine folks at What the Fuck Network. They're also giving me a space to put my shit, even though I haven't taken complete advantage of it yet. They're, pretty generous with their collaborative domain and, wanting to empower content creators. So What the Fuck Network and Eddie Pennybets, Marshall Turner, Zach Harkness, like I said, Michael Fry, all my guest co-hosts that I'm going to have. It's not, I kind of put the team on my back here, but I got a team on my back. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. This is the solo sessions. Right before we get into the next two mini-sodes that will make up the second and third parts of this podcast. Where's my fucking notebook? I got a whole notebook for this show. Y'all don't know how good you have it. Lucky to have me. Okay. There it is. So, yeah, we've got, the normal segments. We've got community questions. We got Slick's picks of the week. We've got the Fighter Watch and the Schoolyard Rules. And then we got the Sorcerer's Stoned. I need to put community questions at the end because they always take place at the end, but I put it like second on the list. So let's get into the picks, right? Because that's what you're here for. You're here to see me make a fool of myself every week. And if you watched last week, you know that the new thing in this show is that I got my mom's picks every week. I'm in her attic. I always walk up to her. I'm like, hey, yo, moms, if this guy and this guy fight, who do you think takes it? And she's like, obviously the one with this fucking name. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I think too. Or, Yadi Element Donnie, Yadi Element Mommy. But, yeah, so I get her picks, blind picks. I just give her the names in no particular order. And we're just going to see if she fucking nails the whole thing one day or something. I don't know. I just figured it'd be fun. So I got her picks, and she just picks the winner. And I have my picks where I give you, what round I think it'll happen in or what the victory type is. I'm also going to predict maybe a fight of the night and a couple performance bonuses. We'll see what happens. So mom's picks, I'll just go through them quick. She's got Vendramini, Kenny, Luke Boonmay, Imavov, Jourdain, Mcgee, Todorovic, Elsey, Durandamy, DeCastro, and Holm. Seem like some pretty solid picks, Mom. I can't lie. As far as like a heat check goes, me and Mom both went 6 for 11 last week. So, not that greatest success in this household, but, I'm just in a slump. Y'all. Don't worry about it. Pretty soon, it's going to be Slick Curry again. So, for my picks, I've got Vendramini getting a sub in round 2. Casey Kenny having a breakout performance and getting probably what I think to be probably a ground and pound KO in round 1. I've got Yu Frey taking a decision over Loma Luke Boonmay. Imavov taking a decision over Williams. I think that's going to be a close fight. I've got Jourdain having a fucking awesome performance over Culibao, and I have him finishing him late in the fight. Round 3 KO. I've got Condit winning, defeating Court Mcgee in this fight that they have that I'm super stoked for. Really stoked. These two dudes scrap, man. They scrap. I've got Todorovic subbing Daquan Townsend in round 2. I've got Kylie Phillips taking a decision over Cameron Else, or Else, or however you want to say it. I really don't know. I have the matches for aesthetic, but, like, just this fan, dude. Like, well, I guess I don't even need it now. It gets really hot in here, but then at night it gets, like, chilly. Like, I need a windbreaker right now. So I could turn the fan off. Didn't even think about it. But, you know, I'm already here. Where was I? Yeah, I've got Kylie Phillips getting the decision. I've got Pena getting a decision as well. De Castro with a round 2 knockout. And Aldana finishing Holly Holm in round 3. What? It's an interesting fight, right? The main event's really cool because you got this, like, established elite veteran in Holly Holm who knows how to game plan, knows how to win, has taken out the best of the best, has fought the best of the best. And you've got this young, this upstart in Irene Aldana, and it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be pretty technical. And the thing that concerns me with Aldana is, yeah, she's speedy, like, she gets around the octagon, she's mobile, and her boxing is crisp, obviously. She's got that finishing power and the ability to place shots and get them where she needs them. You know, to do damage, and she has stopping power. But there's something about her footwork that I can't put my finger on. It looks, and I probably attribute it to her being somewhat of a late starter. And I mean, what the fuck do I know about footwork? Not a goddamn thing. Let's be honest. I don't know anything about it, unless we're talking American youth sports. Like, then, you know, I had some pretty crazy footwork in some sports that, you know, will remain to be unnamed. But I know nothing about footwork in the combat sports sense. But what I was saying is, it almost seems like she shuffles around a little bit. Like, it's not as fluid as, like, a super seasoned veteran is. And she's got, like, this raw, natural talent, and she's honing her skills and getting better and better because she's, you know, a dedicated martial artist, and she's good. She's good everywhere. But, and she's a damn good striker. But what concerns me is if, like, she could, and I'm banking on her being too fast and finding the shot. Like, I think she's gonna, I think she's gonna be mobile enough. But what concerns me is Holly Holm's ring generalship and how she can kind of control the octagon really well. And if she can just kind of impose her will and her want on the, you know, the fight the whole time, and Irene can't, you know, find the angles to find her success because her footwork isn't necessarily at the level of her hands. And maybe you're a striking person, like, you actually do this shit, and you're watching this and you're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's fine. Let me know in the comments. But to me, that was something that I was a little concerned with. But I think it's going to be a cool fight. All these fights, you know, have the potential to be cool. Excuse me. All right. Yeesh. Allergies in Texas, man. I'm telling you. People are like, fuck COVID. And it's like, dude, I'm just sneezing because of the fucking pollen. But yeah, those are my picks. As far as fight of the night goes, there's a few contenders, right? But honestly, my pick is Luke Boonmay versus Yu Fry. I think that it's just going to be a high-paced, really fun chess match between two damn good strikers. I think that if it goes to the ground, it's going to be Yu Fry, you know, trying to change levels and get in on her hips and try to control the fight there, because maybe Luke Boonmay is a little too powerful. She hits too hard, you know. I don't know. Not trying to discount Yufrei at all. I have her winning the fight, but Luke Boonmay could prove to be the elite striker, and in that scenario, it would only make sense for Yufrei to go to the ground. I think the pace on it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be a neat fight. And I'm just super excited for it. I actually made it my Schoolyard Rules selection of the week, but we'll get to that in a second. Other fights that could be fight of the night. Carlos Condit versus Court Mcgee really could be. A lot of my friends said that you're crazy for thinking that has the makings of a cool fight, because Condit's just way out of his element, and you know, Mcgee might just grapple fuck him. But both of these dudes are dangerous as hell. I think Condit has 15 knockouts and 13 submission victories in his career, and like 2 decision victories. That sounds off, but that sounds so off. The natural born fucking killer, bro. Let's get it. Let's see. Yeah, 30 wins. He's got 15 knockouts, 13 submissions, and 2 decisions. Fucking crazy. And he's got 6 submission losses and 1 knockout loss and 6 decision losses, for a total of 30 and 13 in his career in 43 fights. I like what Carlos Condit's about. He's a team player, you know. He reps who helps him and where he's from, and you know, I really see him pulling off something really cool to get out of this slump. Maybe that's me being, you know, fucking hopeful and wishful thinking, but I got ahead of myself, because I'll just do it now. For the Slick Diaz and the Sorcerer's Stoned segment, I think Carlos Condit and Court Mcgee just turn in a fucking banger, and Condit gets a late submission. I know he's been in lots of submissions, like he has 6 submission losses, but for some reason, I just see Carlos Condit getting that round 3 sub. I see it being a dynamic fight everywhere it goes. I think both dudes are going to fucking bring it, and, you know, knock on wood. It just has the makings of a really cool fight, if you ask me. So I'm stoked for it. I'm, you know, burning incense and laying out tiny bones in, you know, sacred alignments, and doing ancient hymnals to the MMA gods that Carlos Condit and Court Mcgee put on a fucking show. And I really do think that's going to be fight of the night. But I picked Luke Boonmay and Yufrei because I just like both those chicks. I think they're both dope. I like Condit and Mcgee too, but I just, you know, I selected Luke Boonmay and Yufrei. What do you want from me? As far as the Schoolyard Rules, that's the fight I picked. I think, let me see if I can pull it up. So, in the Schoolyard Rules, there's 2 stats we focus on. It's the finish line between the 2 of them, and the finish plus percentage for each of them. So, what the finish line is, it's of their career fights. Sometimes I do of their UFC fights, but I'm doing career this time. Of their fights, how many of them get finished, right? What's the percentage? And then I take the average between the 2, and that's the finish line. And then for the finish plus percentage, it's of the fights that get finished, what's the percentage of the time that they are the ones doing the finishing. So for Loma Luke Boonmay, she has, let's see, I think she's 4-2 in her career, and she's got 1 submission loss and 1 KO victory, right? and the rest are decisions, win or loss. So she's 4-2 in her career, but 2 have not gone to decision. So 2 of 6, that's a 33% finish line for her specifically. Now for Jinyu Fry, I think hers is like 42 or something. She's got 14 matches, and of those, 6 of them have not gone to the scorecards. So I'm pretty sure that's the math. And then the total finish line between them is 37%. Which is what kind of inclined me to pick it as fight of the night, because I think both of them are capable of finishing it, but I think both of them are good enough to not get finished, and I think they turn in a sick fight. As far as their finish plus percentages go, I don't normally like take an average for it, but for them it's easy because both of them are 50%. So of the fights that have been finished in Jinyu Fry's career, she has 2 submission victories and 1 knockout victory, but she's got 2 knockout losses and a submission loss. Whereas Loma Lookboonmee, she has been submitted once and she has knocked somebody out once. So that's 50-50 on both ends. Pretty cool. That's the schoolyard rules for the week. And normally I have like at least a few community questions, but I want to keep it relevant and stuff. So I really only had one super relevant question, and it was from Kara Man or something, longtime follower. Appreciate you, big dog. He says Conor versus Dustin 2. Fucking phenomenal. You kidding me? Absolutely fucking phenomenal, Jack. Let me tell you why. 1, rematches are a good thing. Slick Diaz loves underdogs, rematches, and scrappers, dude. Yeah, and I think that the Conor versus Dustin one, obviously clear victory. Dustin said that Conor's the hardest puncher he's ever fought, which makes sense. And I think since that loss, Dustin has evolved so many times. He's one of the elite, and we know Conor is too. So to see them match up now, after all this time, 1, it makes sense. Even though it sucks that Dustin's kind of skirting off Tony, because love Tony Ferguson, the ultimate fucking, dude's really a martyr. Like, if he never wins the undisputed belt, even though he basically, he's a champion. Let's not get it twisted. He fucking got fucked over so many times. I have so much love for Tony Ferguson, but Dustin Conor is a great fight. And then he can get, I guess, the loser of that fight. Then maybe he doesn't want to wait that long, but I don't know. He's got that orbital thing, but I don't know how long it's been. I don't know the medical details. I don't know what he's doing, but he's a savage, and I know he's always ready. I just think that maybe that would be a cool fight afterwards. It kind of falls into itself. Even though it's asking him to take a step back, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's time to heal, But who knows what happens with Conor, and he can't be trusted in a situation like that, because he might just say Dustin beats him and then he just bails. And now Tony's fucked. So it's a really tricky subject, but in short, I love Conor versus Dustin too. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think Dustin's more than earned it, paid in full. What more do you want from him? Give him the Conor rematch. It's gorgeous. Mwah. Yeah, that's it for the solo session. Coming at you next, we've got MMA Island analytics and predicts aficionado, my partner in crime, Zach Harkness, one of my partners in crime, and we got hand wraps. Now hand wraps is going to be a constant on MMA Attic, on MMA Island. Thank you so much. We've got that, and then Eddie Pennybets, an intro to Degeneracy after that. So stay tuned for both of those. Make sure to fucking like this shit, subscribe, comment, talk all that shit. Tell me if you agree with anything I've said so far or anything that we got to say, in the rest of the pod.
Sound very good. Let's just give it a second to,
You already know.
Right. Back in the saddle, like we never left. Old riding partners, Poncho and Lefty, perhaps. This is MMA Attic on MMA Island with my fellow MMA Islander, Underdog Island, a.k.a. Going Deep MMA, a.k.a.
Yep.
Al Pacino,
Yep.
head advisor of the Game Bred Intelligence Agency. How we doing, Zach? Zach Harkness, everybody.
Yes, thanks for that amazing introduction. I'm doing just fine. Had a good day. Played some basketball, watching Thursday Night Football, and getting ready for the fights this weekend.
Yes, sir. All right. So before we hop in to the fights this weekend,
Yes.
this is halfway a recap show. So we got to go back a week and
Yes.
look at the monster card we just had on UFC 253.
Amazing.
What fight specifically do you want to talk about?
I want to start with the co-main event, light heavyweight championship of the world.
Good. I thought you were gonna, for some reason, I thought you were gonna skate by it.
No, of course not. And I have another one I'm going to talk about after this. But, man, I was really, really surprised about this. Going into this fight, man, I was so high on Dominic Reyes. I'm like, he beat John Jones. It's his time. He's going to win the championship. He's going to win the belt. I think I slept a little bit too much on Jan Blachowicz.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out the fatal flaw I thought would be the fatal flaw in his game, which would be his tendency to go crazy on these blitzes, are actually what won him the belt. Isn't it crazy how stuff works out like that?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the undisputed belt. Like, it's a very rare occasion that light heavyweights undergoing right now. I'm not to brag, but I picked him. I feel really good about it. I thought it was going to go to a decision, though. I didn't think Dominic was going to fall like that. It was crazy. Legendary Polish power.
It seemed like when he walked out and when he was in the cage, like, I was watching this, and in my mind, it's like, it doesn't feel like he's really there.
Well,
did you get that too?
The whole lead up to the fight, all the trash talk, the press conferences, dude, he seemed like he couldn't care less. I think that was him trying to act like he wasn't nervous, and it costed him. He was disinterested in the fight and thought he had it in the bag.
I think that too, but I also think he was like really like nervous, and from the looks of it, he kind of didn't want to be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
He did not look like the Dominic Reyes that we know, and the Dominic Reyes
he
that
wasn't
was in the John Jones
bright-eyed
fight.
and bushy-tailed after his first loss.
No, he kind of just looked down and not. As soon as like the fight started and like 30 seconds in, I'm like, he's not gonna win. There's nothing here telling me that Dominic Reyes is going to take this fight because Blachowicz was the one doing everything. Yep. He every time Reyes tried to do something, it was Jan who punished him for it. And it seemed like he didn't really want to get over the mental adversity of trying to get over that. It kind of seemed like this is a fight he had no interest in being in. And Blachowicz,
I think what's crazy is Dominic Reyes said he was going to be a tougher challenge than John Jones. Both of them predicted it. Jan Blachowicz said round 2 KO, Polish power. Both of them knew what was going to happen, man.
Those body kicks also, my God, Reyes' ribs.
Oh, they were well done, son.
They were well done. They were purple. That spot on his leg, you don't see that. And it's not like Jan Blachowicz is like this insane. Yes, he's that powerful, but he's not more powerful than we've never really seen body kicks like that before. So I'm wondering, after seeing that, I'm not sure if Reyes has conditioned his body to take those shots. And if he was it kind of tells me how good was his conditioning leading into this fight. I'm not sure. You saw him, he was training his ass off for the John Jones fight. He was putting in all the effort in the world, and it showed. But with this performance, I mean, I still think Dominic Reyes is is in the top 3 best light heavyweights on planet Earth right now.
Who's number 3?
Dominic Reyes.
No, who's number 2 then?
Jan Blachowicz.
Who's number 1?
Thiago Santos.
Yo, okay. I like it.
And then you have Rakic and Jiri at a tie for 4th.
Okay. It is a little preemptive, but gut instinct, how does that fight go?
Rakic wins. That's rumors of that fight getting booked.
Yeah, I know. It's a beautiful fight.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And Rakic, we saw an aspect of his game that we had no idea that he could do, and that's the ground control, the ground pressure.
He's so physically imposing.
He is. And that's how I think Jiri, his weirdness and his awkwardness of his strikes, that's how he's won. So he looks vulnerable. That's how Jiri wins his fights. He looks vulnerable, so he makes people overcommit to try and attack him, and then he punishes him with his technicality. Because Jiri Prochazka is one of the most technical light heavyweights on planet Earth. But Alexander Rakic is a big guy, huge guy, and I think Jiri's takedown defense. If Rakic uses the wrestling that we saw against Anthony Smith, I think Rakic can win. And I think, honestly, Rakic, if he gets a couple more wins, I have no problem placing him as the best light heavyweight in the world. But right now, I do think it's Thiago Santos. I mean, think about this. He beat John Jones on a judge's scorecard with 2 legs that didn't work. He should not have been able to walk, and he went toe-to-toe with one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Agreed.
And he knocked out.
I agree that he went toe-to-toe, and I agree he won it on a judge's scorecard. Those are facts. Those are the facts, people. I'm not suggesting that Thiago won the fight. Just
Santos
like I'm not suggesting
for life. I'll say it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not in the camp that John lost either of those close fights recently.
Hey, that's your opinion.
Maybe I'm a fanboy. But so would you say that Jan Blachowicz is the story of the card?
Absolutely. Well, he's certainly the biggest story of the card because the way that the main event ended, right? Yeah. It kind of just was like, I feel after that fight, I legitimately needed time to process what I had just seen. Because Israel Adesanya demolished Paulo. It was one of the worst, most one-sided fights I've ever seen, and I thought it was going to be kind of close. He completely neutralized everything Paulo Costa did, and I was just amazed.
It was nuts, dude.
This guy's never going to lose. He's going to clean out everyone in his division. I don't think there's a single person in middleweight 185 that can beat him. I
got an inkling.
Who do you think?
I think it's one of them white boys. I think you got Jack Hermanson or Darren Till.
No.
I think Jack Hermanson's the trickiest puzzle in middleweight for him.
I don't know about that because Hermanson. We know that Israel Adesanya has great takedown defense and great submission defense, right?
I would not say it's great. In what we've seen, it stood up. We haven't seen it stand up time and time again, like a lot of these other pools of data we have. We've seen him do it a little bit successfully, and everyone calls it great. I don't agree.
But the thing with Adesanya is, I think, the most underrated aspect of his game. Yes, his striking is the best part of his game, but really the best part of Adesanya's game is how he shuts down people's game plans. He is by far the toughest puzzle to figure out because you have no idea what he's going to do. He is so unbelievably versatile that he can hit you at anything, anytime, anywhere.
Absolutely.
You can't do anything to stop it. There is no one, and the thing is, if you try and rush in and punch him, his counter-striking, gorgeous. He is the best counter-striker in MMA history. I'm saying that right now because I have not seen anyone do it as effectively as him.
I'm not inclined to disagree with your take. Do you
His
think
shots are perfect?
People are already getting Twitter real quick because we got to move on. People are already getting Twitter fingers that he's about to pass Anderson Silva or something for greatest middleweight. No, and that's crazy because the run,
recency bias.
But the thing is, he beat him, and he's beating these guys that are all.
Okay.
I know it was a 43-year-old Anderson Silva, dude.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. But when you look back at it and you're like, oh, who's the greatest between these two? Well, they fought. What happened?
That's casual mentality.
Not quite, though. I mean, it's trying to base an argument in facts.
I guess, but then my favorite buster to that argument is, do you think Matt Serra is better than GSP?
He was on that night.
I mean, that was for that night, but and we're talking
no,
fighter-wise.
No.
Exactly. Just because someone beats someone doesn't mean that they're the better fighter.
Yeah, I know, but say he doesn't lose. Say he never loses at middleweight, but he doesn't defend it nearly as many. Say he defends it 3 more times and doesn't fight at middleweight anymore.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think that's the way Izzy works. He's said multiple times that he wants to be an active champion and he wants to clear out the division. And
he has been. He's already halfway done clearing it out.
It's true. It's true. And he's been quite active as a champion as well. But I think
very active.
I don't think you can say he's better than Silva now.
Can we just take a moment to, I'm not in agreement with his antics on social media the last couple of days. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of his post-fight tactics in regards to accosting Sir Costa, but can we just give a round of applause to Israel Adesanya for how phenomenal he is? It's absolutely insane watching him. Every time I watch him, he, besides the Yoel Romero fight, he just never ceases to amaze me. And it's I'm not even a gigantic fan, but
either.
The amount of respect that I have to put on his name, dude. It's incomparable. He's clearly one of the best in the world. Not just talking his weight class. Obviously, he's the best in the world there. I think is he number 3 on the pound for pound list now?
No. I think Usman is number 3.
Kind of whack.
I don't think so. I think Usman's right now. Usman has done more than Adesanya, but it's close. It's comparable.
I think it should go. I think Khabib's the best pound for pound fighter in the world.
Yeah, me too. He should be number 1. John Jones is number 2. Usman number 3. Adesanya number 4. No. You know who's 3?
You could swap out. You could who?
It's Stipe. Stipe's number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Usman is 4. Adesanya is 5.
Cejudo's number 6. Retired.
No. He's not.
He is. Yes, he is.
No, he's not. He's retired. He's out of all rankings.
All right. So, who's the unsung hero of this card? Give me one or two, because I got a few too.
100% Brad Riddell. Easily.
Beautiful. I thought he was going to take home fight of the night.
He should have. Because here's going into this fight, I said that people were saying, what are you talking about? That Brad Riddell is the 3rd best fighter from City Kickboxing. And people are like, what are you talking about? Dan Hooker, Kai Car France, they're ranked in the UFC. I'm like, nah, fam. Brad freaking Riddell.
He's my man. He's my man. I said it on last episode. Every time Brad Riddell's on a fight card, he's my Slick Diaz fighter watch. I don't care.
And I thought that, I thought he was going to style on Alex De Silva, but I didn't give Alex De Silva his credit. Alex De Silva is a very, very good fighter. He is a very good fighter. And he showed that in the first round. But the way that Brad Riddell can read his opponent's game plans, adapt to what they're doing mid-fight, and adjust is just amazing. He downloads I like to say that the City Kickboxing guys are like computers in there. They download the data completely and perfectly, and then they can't do anything. That's the term I most like to use with Adesanya, because he downloads the game plans, what they're doing, and is able to counteract because he already knows what they're going to do before they do it. Brad Riddell is able to do that. He can't do it as fast as Adesanya can. Adesanya downloaded the data for Whitaker's blitz the first time he did it. It takes Brad Riddell about a round. And you saw that after that first round, Brad Riddell was coming into control of that fight. What he was doing in the clinch, his takedown defense, which was very good to see. It became really, really good after the second. And then he just started lighting him up in the 3rd round. Amazing performance, getting by a very tough opponent. And honestly, I see top 10 Brad Riddell's future. I see him being in the top 15, in the top 10. And if he gets even better, I see no reason why he can't be a top 5 UFC fighter.
So my unsung hero for the week, if I had to pick one, you took Riddell, and that's fine. I almost wanted to give it to Shane Young, but I got to give it to Hakeem Dawodu, man.
Yes.
What a fucking performance he put on. He put the world on notice for who he is. fucking awesome performance. Like, it wasn't Zubaira was, trying to skate out of the action, and Hakeem was letting him know that he did not like it. And that's my kind of fighter. I mean, I'm Slick Diaz for a reason.
Hakeem was there. He wanted to go. I still say that Danny Henry's guillotine over Hakeem Dawood is one of the biggest flukes in MMA, because what did Hakeem do afterwards? He's now on a 5-fight win streak and taking out guys like Zubaira Tukhugov. That's a good win. That is a very, very good win to have. And
Royvel also deserves a lot of credit for his performance. But he got it. Fight of the night.
Royvel got his credit. Like, he got his $50K bonus money. That's fine.
I just didn't want to go without mentioning him, even though he's not an unsung hero of the night. Like, I just feel like he is. He's
flyweight Tony Ferguson.
We'll see about that, bro.
In terms of style.
It's interesting. The way he gets dropped, the way he recovers, the way that he's so well-rounded, I can see it. I agree.
I was listening to Heavy Hands today, which is one of my favorite podcasts. Got to shout them out. And they said that Kai Kara France versus Brandon Royval is kind of like a poor man's Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson if that fight happened 3 years ago.
The fight was beautiful, dude. Kai Kara is the fucking man.
I thought about him like, that is really accurate, because what is Kai Kara France doing? He's pressuring forward, getting in his face. And this is what happened with Royval doing the unorthodox shit. That's how he won the fight, with the spinning elbow, with the jiu-jitsu, with the crazy ground moves. That's how he was able to win. And I'm like, that was a perfect comparison. It was flyweight Tony Ferguson, Justin Gaethje in 2017. What a good comparison.
All right. So, let's one more. So you get to make one fight immediately, and it just happens after what occurred at UFC 253. You get to make the biggest matchup that is most important in your head after these happened.
Oh, I have so
Since
many.
We're running long on time, we're going to do one.
Man, okay.
We're not running long on time, but we still have to do.
I have two.
Look forward. Go ahead and do two.
Obviously, Jan Blachowicz, Thiago Santos 2. Easily.
I knew it.
But then I have to mention the fight that I really want to see, and it'd just be so much fun. Brandon Royval versus Brandon Moreno.
He's not there yet, dude.
I don't know. I know he's not there yet, but think about it. He beats.
No, I'm thinking about it.
That would be an amazing fight. They're both very fun, very fast strikers on the feet, and the scramble game, the jiu-jitsu. Imagine that groundwork. Yep. Beautiful. I would give the edge to Moreno, and I know Moreno's booked against Perez, and once he beats Perez, he's gonna fight Figueiredo. But I would want to put Royval in there instead of Perez, because I think that fight is a lot more fun, a lot more entertaining, and man, I just want to see Brandon Moreno fight. That's just it, pretty much.
Okay, so there's a few that I'm thinking about. There's the obvious one because of all the chitter chatter on Twitter. The John Jones Izzy fight is beautiful. The one that the Blachowicz Santos, beautiful. But one that I kind of wanted to, make a puzzle about. I wanted to pick out who William Knight should fight next.
Oh, that is a very good one, because William Knight looked awesome.
Yep, he really
looked
did.
Really, really good against Alexa Kamor. I thought that William Knight was going to win that fight. He did.
I had Kamor winning.
A lot of people did, and William Knight was the underdog. I wish I could have taken the stab on that, but William Knight is just such a big dude for light heavyweight. Like, Kamor looked bigger, but if you look at the actual sizes of them, Adesanya was calling Paulo Costa an overly inflated balloon animal. No. That's William Knight.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking that I don't think they make this fight because it's two up-and-coming commodities at about maybe the same level. Jamal Hill and William Knight right now.
We're not seeing Jamal Hill. We're not seeing Jamal Hill anytime soon. He got a suspension.
What happened?
Weed. He got to stay off the weed.
Okay, well, check me out then. Michael Alexei Jacek or whatever.
There's talks about Lord Michel stepping in and fighting fucking Krylov because Özdemir stepped out. there's talks of that fight happening.
Well, Roman Dolidze is booked, and that's who I was going to throw him in with.
I don't know. I think I want to see someone who will challenge him on the ground. I know he's probably not at this level yet, but I think this man might be the worst ranked fighter in the UFC, and I know he's booked, but you're giving me the full power here. So I'm going to say put up William Knight against Paul Craig. Do it.
Okay. I like it, but don't you accomplish the same thing almost with Oleksiejczuk?
Oleksiejczuk on the ground? No. Oleksiejczuk on the ground is a fish out of water. His last 2 fights are submission losses.
He's got submission victories, too. I mean, the 2 dudes he went up against are fucking savages. Jim Crute and Ovince St. Preux.
Yeah, it's true. William Knight versus OSP.
Savages on the ground.
William Knight versus OSP, though. Or William Knight versus Alonzo Menefield.
That Alonzo Menefield fight actually interests me because you're putting him up against a wrestler.
Well, Menefield's not a wrestler. He's light heavyweight Ngannou.
Oh, no. I was thinking of Devin Clark. I'm sorry.
Thinking of Devin Clark. There's so many good fights for William Knight. There's so many good fights. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that Menefield fight would be awesome because that's where Menefield is right now. Menefield's dropped 2 straight. He's dropped to OSP and Devin Clark. He needs a win to rebound, and he needs to look impressive, and he needs to fight a guy with a lot of hype right now.
Well, that's why I was thinking about the Lord fight, but, whatever.
The only reason I didn't bring that one up is because of the rumors that Lord is going to fight Krylov.
Yeah, but I don't buy it.
We'll see. We'll see if they're selling both tickets.
Okay, so that's what we got for the recap segment of this, and now this is the fun part, guys. So we've got a specialist in the field. We've got. Sorry if you can hear those train whistles. It was all day clear, and then as soon as I start recording, but we run a little a hush hush organization that's devoted to. What would you say it's devoted to?
It's devoted to picking out and showcasing some of the more slept-on but amazing talents in the UFC and in MMA in general.
And I would say that is one of our strengths, but the purpose of this segment perhaps is highlighting the unknowns on any given card to make it more interesting for you because you have a little knowledge to go into it. Because let's be honest, I consider myself a pretty hardcore UFC fan. Like, not so much an MMA fan. I watch a lot of this and that, but I don't know enough. But then we got savants over here, like Zach, who can tell you what's going on with all of these dudes on the prelims and the early prelims to make you more invested in these fights. And that's what I typically do. I call up old Mal Pacino and I say, hey, sell me on the bottom half of this prelim card. I'm really bored. Like, so I think that's what we're going to do for this Game Bred Intelligence Agency segment. We're going to get some intel on the lesser knowns of this card because there's a lot of them. And I think that you might have a couple inklings. So I'm going to go through and you're going to give quick fire picks as we quick fire explanations as we wrap this up.
And do I get to talk about the guys that I want to talk about when they come up?
Yeah, of course.
Because I have one guy in mind.
Oh yeah. He might be our shared fighter watch.
Yes.
But we're not sold yet. I'm not super sold on it, but
I'll try.
The fight salesman might convince me.
Yes. Okay. I was about to say I'm the fight salesman.
Yeah, okay. That could be like part of this segment is the fight salesman too. All right.
That's one of my titles. One of many.
So, I want to be honest. This is just a place for honesty. So, first fight of the card, we got Luigi Vendramini versus Jessen Ayari. I don't know shit about either of these guys, and that's the case for a lot of the fighters on this card, at least to start it out. So why don't you give us a quick breakdown of that, and then we'll move up.
Luigi Vendramini, we're going quick? Okay, so quick fire.
You don't have to do like quick, but just like...
Yeah.
Just so we can get through multiple.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu beast, absolute monster on the ground. He's kind of competent on the feet, not too much, but he's going to try and sweep the fight, get the fight to the ground, take a back. That's what he's especially good at. Human backpacking.
This is Vendramini, yes?
Yes, Vendramini. And Jessen Ayari is dropping from welterweight. He has already had one fight at lightweight, but he fought Darren Till before. Isn't that kind of odd? Jessen Ayari has
That is odd.
Darren Till, and he's what I like to call a jack of all trades, master of none. But he's not that great at everything, but he's serviceable at a lot of things. And when one of those people takes on someone who's specialized in another area, usually the specialist is going to win that fight. And that's why Luigi Vendramini is probably going to win. He's going to take the bag. He's going to submit him because the submission defense of Jessen Ayari is nowhere close to what it needs to be to defend the submissions of Vendramini.
Beautiful. All right, champ. Next, I'm not going to ask you to describe. I mean, you know, go ahead and give us a quick breakdown on Casey Kenny because I'm familiar, but
everyone should be familiar of Casey Kenny.
It's either Casey Kenny might be my fighter watch. Let's be perfectly clear. Like it's either your guy or my guy.
Yeah. So Casey Kenny really
and his opponent Zach.
Yes. Haley Alatang. Right. So Casey Kenny is very, very good on the feet. He's quite long for the division. He kind of uses that. He has very good range striking. And if the fight gets to the ground, he has a very, very solid submission game. Takedown defense is pretty good. But he got taken down by Merab a bunch of times, but everyone except John Dodson gets taken down a bunch by Merab. But on the feet, he's very, very solid. His volume is quite good. He has a very solid striking defense at 56%. So he's just a fun time. He's just a good guy to watch in the octagon. He brings the fight to his opponent. It's going to be good. And his opponent, Haley Alatang, he fought Bakar Dana, who is supposed to fight the guy who I'm not going to mention yet on this card, but that would have been an amazing fight. But Haley Alatang is going to look to get the fight to the ground. That's what he's going to do. But he's not the caliber of wrestler that Merab Dvalishvili is. Because the thing with Merab is he's such a good wrestler that he's been primed to avoid the classic submissions that wrestlers get caught in, namely guillotine chokes, right? Merab is very good at defending those submissions. Haley Alatang might get caught in one, and on the feet, he's insanely hittable. His striking defense is not good at all. He absorbs 5.10 strikes per minute. That's not good when you're fighting a guy like Casey Kenny. His strike differential is very bad. Now, take into consideration, right, he only has 2 UFC fights, but he has gotten outstruck in both of them. And he's only won them for his ground control. So his ground control is the only thing that gets him a win over Casey Kenny. And I say that usually that the guy with more paths to victory is the one to pick. Casey Kenny is that guy.
Agreed. I personally see. I think I see Casey Kenny with a ground and pound type finish. That's just what's in my head. I think that you're right. Haley's going to try to get it to the ground, and then Casey Kenny's just going to have his way with him. He's going to be the better, more pedigreed person in all areas and try to get him out of there. I think he does.
My boy is on the prelims. He's not on the prelims.
Who? Oh,
my boy.
No, he's not. He's not.
Are we going through the whole card?
No, I'm gonna ask you a few more, or I'm gonna ask you 1 or 2 more, and then we'll be at your guy.
Okay.
So, tell me about Jordan Williams and Nassourdine Imavov.
Nassourdine Imavov, the Russian sniper out of France.
Wait, hold on. What's that? What's that? You were on the internet growing up the same time as me. That Russian sniper, that was deformed in the face and had 150 million kills or whatever. White, they called him. He had a cool name now.
Shadow.
The White Death, maybe.
Oh, the White. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, dude, that guy's hard as shit. Not to bring out my inner middle schooler. Go ahead.
So he's incredibly technical. I did a little bit more tape study on this fight because I was prepared to pick Jordan Williams because I was a little bit more familiar with him. But I thought I'd give Imavov a chance, and now that I've given him a chance, I think he's going to win the fight because I watched Jordan Williams fight on the Contender Series, and he got that quick knockout. But he just wants to get this fight into a brawl. He wants to go and he wants to fight.
Was he this season?
Yeah, he was this season.
Okay. I'm more familiar now. Now that you said that, I remember.
Yeah. But the thing is, Imavov's strikes are so technical. He has great leg kicks, which will hamper the movement. And when it gets to the ground, if it does, he has a nasty submission game. So Imavov is very, very good. If Williams tries to rush in, Imavov is going to counter him. He's going to hurt him, and I think Imavov might even get the finish.
Beautiful. I think you may have changed my pick. I'll be honest. Because I like the Jordan Williams kid, but I mean, if the guy's a technician, it's hard.
He's a huge technician.
It's hard for me to pick against technicians, dude. Even though I'm a scrapper at heart, like I'm a scrapper at heart, but it's hard for me to pick against a technician. So we'll go ahead and we'll skip against the natural born killer fight.
Are you missing Jordan and Culibao?
If you want to cover it, we can.
Just
that'd be good. Yeah,
it's a little bit more well known. Charles Jordan, absolute beast. This guy is a guy that you should know. This is one of the prelim guys.
He's a highlight guy. He's an exciting fighter.
This is the guy who went into Busan and knocked out the Korean Superboy. He's insanely durable, and he has the heart of steel. Yes, he lost his first UFC fight to Desmond Green. We don't talk about Desmond Green. The situation around him is not that good. But that was at lightweight. And now that he's at his natural weight class, his striking is awesome. And he had a close fight with Andre Fili. I like to call Andre Fili Mr. 16 to 20 because he is consistently in the 16 to 20 range of the featherweight division all the time. That's what he is. You beat Andre Fili, you're top 15 talent. And there's a case that Charles Jordan could have won that fight. And I think this is a fight that they're giving him to win. Culibao is decent. He came into the UFC 8-0. And just gets murdered pretty much against Jalen Turner. To be fair, that is above his natural weight class, but his striking defense, nowhere near it needs to be. Charles Jordan.
All right, now that's way better. We had some connection.
Okay. Yeah. Charles Jordan.
I think you're good now. I think it just shut.
Yeah. So, Charles Jordan is going to get the win in this one. He's going to win. His striking is going to beat Kulibao's bad striking defense. If it goes to the ground, I do think Jordan has the advantage as well.
I like it. See, this is why I bring you Zach. Everybody, he can tell you it like it is, and I'll tell you all the ways it could be and romanticize it. And he's the coloring inside the lines playbook guy. He always dots his I's and crosses his T's. He knows what's up, and I sure don't. So, I guess because the Daquan Townsend Dusko Todorovic fight is interesting, but I would like to cover Kylie Phillips versus Cameron Else.
Yes.
Or is it Else or Else?
I've heard it pronounced Else.
Okay.
So Kylie Phillips is the man.
The Matrix.
Watch. He is the Matrix. He is. I don't think I've ever been really that more impressed by such a look. He's not a name that many people know. And I didn't really know too much about him outside him being in The Ultimate Fighter and him being an amazing grappler, him going into his fight with Gabriel Silva. But I came out of that fight a Kyler Phillips fan. I was so impressed.
Die Hard?
I think so. I was so impressed by what I saw from him. On the feet, he brings it. He has technique and range for days. And on the ground, he was winning those exchanges against a very solid BJJ practitioner in Gabriel Silva. He was winning that. And on the feet, he's just fun. He's unorthodox, but he's unorthodox and technical at the same time. You don't see that out of many people. I think the best example of that is Tony Ferguson, right? He's unorthodox but technical at the same time. Kyler Phillips is that guy. He is very unorthodox, incredibly technical. If a fight goes to the ground, he can grab the submission. He's a big favorite for a reason. I'm just a big Kyler Phillips fan. I will watch any fight that he is in. It is really too bad he won't fight Baccarel Danan because that fight would have been amazing. Baccarel Danan, pound for pound, best name to say in MMA. It's so much fun. That's why I say it so much. But Kyler Phillips, man, watch this fight.
Definitely watch this fight. This was almost Slick Diaz's Schoolyard Rules selection, but it wasn't. But the thing with Cameron Else is he's dangerous everywhere. Let it be known that he submitted a young Paddy Pimblett.
Yes, he did.
He did. He is well-rounded as a finisher. He seems competent, and I maybe have seen him fight, but I'm looking at his record, and just off the record alone, you can see that he's not he definitely finishes or gets finished a lot, but
he still would be killed.
And I love that. I have Kyler winning, but don't be fucking shocked, Mr. Pacino, or Mal or whatever you want to be fucking called, if this dude goes in there and ruins our night.
Dude, that would ruin
I have
my
a
night.
feeling.
No, don't you dare. Don't talk
Well,
like
no. I'm telling you. I came in, I was doing my due diligence, right? I was looking at Kylie Phillips. I was watching some tape. Before I hopped to the Cameron Elsay tape, I looked at his record. And I just, like the show That's So Raven, I just had like an epiphany. I just had an epiphany of the homeboy knocking Kyler Phillips' block off, and I just hope it's wrong. I just hope it's wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
Kyler Phillips, also want to mention, training out of the MMA lab under Benson Henderson. Very good gym. Produces.
Well, can you talk a little bit about how that's a great fit for him too?
Yeah, because Benson Henderson kind of fights with that similar style that he did in his prime. Like Kyler Phillips and prime Benson Henderson have very similar styles, and I think
the willing scrapper with like supreme finishing skills on the ground
everywhere. We're good everywhere, and with that like cool kind of like Taekwondo, like very flashy, unorthodox striking style, right? Yeah. That prime Benson Henderson had. Kyler Phillips, I like to say, is like the bantamweight reincarnation of Benson Henderson. But with a better ground game, because this guy on the ground is no joke. He can submit pretty much anyone in the division, maybe outside of – I'm probably like the only major fan of Raoni Barcelos, but if you don't know the name Raoni Barcelos, know the name Raoni Barcelos.
All right, guy.
I always bring him up.
That's true. Okay, well, is there anything else that the Gamebred Intelligence Agency thinks is – pressing that we need to know for this fight card, or do we got it all in the bag, Chief?
I think that's everything. Just make sure that the fights that you watch, if you're going to choose a couple of them to watch, choose Charles Jourdain, right? Yep. Watch that fight. Choose Loma Lookboonmee versus Ginny Fry. Watch that fight.
Beautiful matchup.
Yeah, amazing. Watch Culibao versus Charles Jourdain. Don't watch Carlos Condit because your night's probably going to get ruined. And watch Kyler Phillips. And if you want to tune out, go ahead. I won't fault you on it. This main event is not the greatest. On paper, this card is not that great. But you bet your ass I'm watching the whole thing. I live for this.
Me too, yeah. Okay, so before I hurt you for some natural born killer slander, where can the people find you and your content? And tell us about what you do for MMA Island, and let us know where we can follow to get more Mal Pacino content, more Gamebred Spy.
Going Deep MMA is where I came into this, where I made my foot and made my presence known in MMA Instagram. That's me. Fight breakdowns, good stuff. Work really hard on them. Underdog Island, getting back up and running again with some really cool. It's got a really cool creative direction that I'm working on. It's taken a lot of time to like kind of figure out what I want to do with the page. Because everyone on MMA Island, they have their own identity, pretty much. But
you're the problem child for sure.
I'm the problem child, but I'm also the workhorse.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I'm not a problem child in a bad way. It's like the problem child's always the one that's special in the end. Yeah. It's like it's gonna take some time, but then once we get it, it's gonna be smooth sailing and beauty.
So you can watch me on YouTube. You can watch the fight predictions. I'm always there. I will do them. I'm always there. You can watch me. Usually I'm with my co-host Michael Fry. Also is a co-host for us for the MMA Attic. Michael Fry can absolutely attest how good he is. He's amazing. Mm-hmm. And my interviews, man, they're going crazy. Got some really big names. We got Michelle Watterson coming out tomorrow. Interview with Michelle Watterson. That's a pretty big name.
I would say the premier interview face for MMA Island at this point. I've kind of retired from the game. I'll be the podcast king, but it's just interviews aren't my thing, man. And you're so good at them. Like, I enjoy doing them every once in a while, but it's a different kind of stress that I don't particularly love.
And exclusive. Oh, sorry.
No,
exclusive.
No.
Okay. Exclusive interview sneak peek, getting something in the works. This is information only known to the listeners of the MMA Attic. I have interviews coming with none other than Johnny Walker and Bellator bantamweight champion Juan Archuleta. Keep your eyes open for those. That's stuff that no one else knows yet. You guys will know if you listen to this.
That's a bomb drop, dude. I was thinking about putting your segment first in the show. Oh, I think I still am, but wow, that's a bomb drop. Okay. Well, that's it for hand wraps, reloaded and reduced and reduxed. We're going to try to not run as long next time. We're trying to trim the fat, but hey, you know,
I don't think we can talk without going for this long, though, is the thing.
Yeah, that's our problem. That's how I am with every fucking show or little convo I have. It's always just blah, 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 for an hour. But we're going to call it here, champ. Thanks for giving us your plugs. Thanks for joining me as a co-host on the MMA Attic on MMA Island. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on. We'll have these every week.
Yep. Or every other week. It depends.
We'll figure it out, man. We'll figure it out.
Yes, sir. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
The face more interested in being able to bet tomorrow than the win today.
Ooh. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here in the MMA Attic with what was the first one you said? The face of betting in small numbers. Eddie Pennybets, back for another week of MMA Attic Intro to Degeneracy, which is basically his show. How we doing, Mr. Bagman?
I'm good. I'm hitting the bagpipes right now, hard. Enjoying myself, getting elevated, trying to bring a little bit of humor to this whole shindig that we got going on. Fucking hell. The weed. You hit it for like 2 minutes, and then it just starts causing lag. I feel like I'm playing on shitty internet right now, but it's like with my brain. What is happening here?
That's an awful... I can hear a little bit of an echo, actually.
Oh, you can hear? All right, hold on. Let's,
we're having some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just
cut this. We'll just cut this out, and then we'll redo it.
Oh, that's fine.
That's called...
The echo's not that bad.
How about now? It should be non-existent now.
I don't think it's... Yeah, it's not there.
There we go.
All right. So,
start this again. Take two.
Okay, I'll start it again. What's up, everybody? We're here in MMA Attic on MMA Island. I'm Slick Diaz, and I'm joined here by the wonderful and gregarious Edward Pennybets. How we doing today, Mr. Bagman?
Fucking gonna make me break out a thesaurus to see if you insulted or complimented. Motherfucker, you don't say words like that in Jersey. But hey, we're doing all right. I mean, I had some fun on Saturday. Polish Power came through and made the boy look good. And that's what counts. I think if you followed my bets as I said them on the show, that between the Polish Power and Izzy, you should have done quite all right for yourself. Tukes and Diego, not so much. But as we were saying...
So your 4 bets last week were Diego, Tukagov, who else that you gave out?
The king of Poland.
Oh, yeah.
The Polish Power himself.
Do you mean Jan Jacek?
Yanni boy. Jan Blachowicz. Or Blachowicz. I've been hearing it both ways. And I'm coming to you to see which way it is.
I say Blachowicz, but
see, that one
Dan Hardy says, for especially the Polish ones, he goes back and goes to like their first or second local MMA event and like listens to how the local guy says it.
I think he might be on to something there. I think that's probably the best method to do it, and I appreciate that heavy studying from Hardy.
Dan Hardy.
I can't do accents. I don't know if it's because I have hearing loss or like whatever
Probably.
It is. I can kind of do like a northeastern Italian. You're not quite sure if he's from New York or New Jersey, maybe Philly, maybe Boston. The only thing you know for a fact is that he's in waste management. Like that's the only accent that I have going on. Other than that, I can't do anything. But so I had Blachowicz. I had 4 units on him, so I got an 8.8 unit return on that plus 220 bet.
How many units did you have on Mr. Adesanya?
I only had 2 because at minus 185, I got it back at plus 108 units. So I probably had 2 units on him. I live bet Brandon Royvel but I didn't give that on the show, so I can't brag about it. Although it did hit, so that is a bet that I hit. It just
That's a nice pick. I mean, there was that fella. Maybe the number's off, but he bet Royvel, Knight, and Duodu, and won like $27K or some shit. So
yeah, it was my cousin Jimmy Dollar Bets.
Yeah. This is the reason that I bring to you all of my colleagues and cohorts. See, I'm not a rich or smart man, but you could be a smart man and you could be a rich man if you pick the right advice from my intellectually stimulating co-hosts.
Throwing a lot of big words at me.
Yeah, I was looking at a colorful sheet and I felt vocabularious. So
yeah, and because I don't understand them, I'm gonna take them as an insult. You know what I'm saying here?
Well, no, actually.
That is Kevin Hart in 40-Year-Old Virgin when he's in the
in the TV store.
Yeah, it's like, you're throwing a lot of big words at me, man, because I don't understand that. I'm gonna get insulted about it.
I'm gonna take it as disrespect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I twisted that a little bit. You heard that I was definitely a white Irish guy repeating that.
Irish American. Let's be perfectly clear. You don't sound Irish necessarily.
No, I think I sound very New Jersey, to be honest. But anyway, going into these next picks, it's hard to give you guys a good show and not just go completely off the rails, because this card is just completely off the rails. Like, I don't care at all about like any of these fights. It's kind of hard to do a show.
That's crazy, dude. I'm excited.
I'm kind of pulling this out of nowhere here on Slick, but yeah, no, I just cannot be bothered. I mean, Holly Holm headlining yet another card. I swear to Christ, if it's another 3 rounds of Holly Holm holding a girl against the cage, I'm gonna lose my mind. I can't see that anymore. I feel like I've been watching that since the Miesha Tate loss, when she got choked out in the 5th round and lost her belt. I feel like
good old Jackson Wink tactician.
Yeah, since then it's just gotten more and more of that Jackson Wink style. And then after the loss to Valentina, it then went immediately into this, okay, I can just be bigger than girls and hold them against the cage and win points doing like dirty technical boxing. I mean, I wouldn't really like... You can't discredit her on it, because it definitely is a strong style, and it's like people can't stop it. So, you know, I'm kind of just like mad that like her fighting's not interesting. But overall, it's, you know, GDR, that's a little bit more interesting against Juliana Pena. We got Kylie Phillips.
That is an interesting fight. Before we just run down the whole card, let's get your most confident and least confident picks of the week, because you got your picks made, right? We're recording.
Yeah, no, I have my picks made. I'm gonna pull up the FanDuel here real quick. So how about
I need your closest to a lock and your least confident pick of the week, good sir. And then we would add some cool music in here and like a it's Eddie's most confident, least confident picks of the week, brought to you by Fight Picks and FanDuel. Word to the Mike Heck show. I like that show.
If anybody can do commercial jingles or has the ability to like mimic music like that and then be able to customize it for me, I have a Morris County, New Jersey used car salesman commercial that I need to have like remixed, and then that would be my intro music.
Oh, we could hit up our boy Bruce, or I could take a stab at it as well.
Why the hell is it so much more difficult to see? Oh, this is because it has me on the fantasy site. I'm still getting used to these legal books. You know, I'm very excited. Here's some gambling information for people, the hardcores out there, and anybody who's in a legal gambling state. 5dimes.eu. You've definitely heard me talk about them if you have listened to anything I've done ever. They recently took away every U.S. better that they had. They made it impossible. They basically like removed all of their illegal, air quotes, U.S. gamblers. they kind of cleared their books and they've made a deal with at least the Eastern Pennsylvania Board of, I don't know, it's hard to keep up with all the acronyms.
The Board of Gambler Men and Law Dudes?
Yeah, the guys in the suits that make the decisions. They met with them. They were like, hey, I got an offer for you that you can't refuse. And then they were like, what, on the day of my daughter's wedding, you're going to come to me with this? And then the Five Dimes was like, yeah, I'm going to come to you with this idea. Here, just take it in for a second. Legal gambling 5 dimes in the United States. What are your thoughts? And then the guys in the suits were sitting there and it's like, you know what? You did give me an offer I can't refuse. Deal. Eliminate all your illegal gamblers in our states, clear your books, kind of, start on a fresh record. And then we're going to play by the rules and we'll bring you in. And so long story short, 5 Dimes is coming to the U.S. and is going to be a legal gambling book in the U.S. Don't know when, but it's happening. And that's the exciting part. So, yeah, that's my little bit of filler news until
Interesting tidbit.
Until I could pull up some info for you. I would say my most confident pick, and people are probably going to argue with me on this, GDR minus 138.
I'll argue with you about it.
I personally don't find Juliana Pena to be all that interesting. I understand that she's a strong grappler and that GDR doesn't necessarily have the strongest grappling, but her grappling defense against the cage is pretty solid, and that's where most of Juliana Pena's takedowns and control kind of begins. She kind of swarms you. What I was trying to say last week about Tukes was that he swarms you with pressure and strikes. It's not necessarily anything technical. Pena's the same way. They get you up against the cage, they get a hold of you, and then it's that clinch shit. And then after that, it comes into a takedown, and then we start moving forward. So, yeah, I'm going to check to see if I haven't already. But, yeah, no, I haven't already, so I'm going to do it now. 2 units on GDR. That is going to be my top bet. Most confident.
Okay. Interesting.
When it comes to least confident,
okay, and let's clarify this. Is our aim to get your least confident bet that you are making, or the fighter that you're least confident in to win? Because I don't really know what I had in mind.
I'll say least confident bet that I'm like taking, because we'll make it exciting. Be like, hey, we're taking it. Like we're riding with it, but we're not.
I like it.
Dude, just off the odds. I mean, I don't know. Hey, Darbs, fucking squeaky toy. It's like every show he just makes it his mission to do a guest appearance.
I like it though. I like it.
It just, I guess it makes it a little bit more authentic. We're recording in our living room. We don't have an attic because we live in an apartment.
Yep.
But, yeah, so my least confident, I don't know. I mean, I was originally going to say Court Mcgee because, like...
you're making the Court Mcgee pick.
What's he got to offer? But think of it this way. And now, I'm not knocking Carlos Condit when I say this. It's just that the time's over. It's up. Like the Carlos Condit time where we got to see him just go to war and beat the fuck out of everybody and just technically break them down with beautiful striking and just bloodbaths galore. That there's a punch clock to it, and you got to punch out eventually. It happened. It's been years since it's happened. And to be honest, when it comes to the grappling, he's more of a defensive grappler. Court Mcgee, an offensive grappler. He's known for his wrestling. He's known for his pressure. It's one of those things where, like, Carlos Condit's going to get 30-27, and it's going to be annoying, and it's all going to be, like, a bummer thing to watch. But that's the circle of life in MMA.
Court Mcgee kind of throws down, though. You don't think you could bring the dog out of Condit? And I know that could still apply as a defensive grappler, but, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he's got 13 submission victories.
Yeah, but what's his name? Mcgee isn't. I mean, let me pull this up on the Tapology so I don't.
He's never been submitted.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, he does not get submitted. So it's like.
Well, I mean, Eddie, you know me, man. If I see someone who's never been knocked out or submitted going up against someone who's talented in that area, I always think the guy's going to submit him. So my loose pick was Condit by like third round submission, but I'm not too sure. I haven't locked it in. I think it might be. I'll give a pick out. I'm picking Condit, whether it be decision or submission, even though it feels really sketchy. I feel like what a perfect swan song that would be to like off this awful winning or off this awful losing streak, all of a sudden finishing someone who hasn't been finished. And I know you think the time's over, but maybe I'm just a hopeless romantic. That's how I'm feeling about it.
Tell me the last feel-good story you heard in MMA. The last ended on a good note for a good guy.
The Kolsky brothers.
Yeah, that's on a come-up. That's a little bit different. We're talking about a guy. When was the last time you saw someone other than George St. Pierre sail off into the sunset and you were like, you know what? That's the perfect. That's
Crone Gracie.
Guy, he showed up 2 years ago. What are we talking about?
I was just making a goof, dude.
Making a goof?
Yeah, he lost to fucking Cub Swanson and then he sailed off into the sunset.
Yeah, that's a whole another different can of worms.
Excuse me. I'll talk about Crone Gracie at every opportunity that is presented to me, and the people know this.
The people, they do know this, but yeah, no, so those are. I really only have 2 picks. I mean, if
now
I
you got to make 2 more. We're giving them 4 bets a week from Mr. Pennybets at least. So
okay.
we need. Okay. So we got GDR, and we've got Court Mcgee. So far, you need 2 more picks for the folks, Eddie.
Fuck it, we're going with home. Okay. I just think that with the fucking grappling, it's going to be annoying. Like, I might fall asleep during the fight, but we're going with home. Actually, with it being a 5-round fight, if it was a 3-round fight, I'd be a little bit more inclined to be like, yeah, she'll just hold her against the cage. But now that I'm thinking about it with the 5-round fight, not so much. I want to bet on Courtney Casey, but the minus 310 is just not interesting at all. And then Kylie Phillips.
Do you mean Casey Kenny?
Casey Kenny, yeah. I don't know why.
I always get them confused too. Courtney Casey's that chick who knocked out, who had like a good couple knockouts and then lost recently.
Courtney Casey is that girl that I consistently bet at 135 pounds as a dog because she is always game, but she has terrible takedown defense and terrible grappling IQ. Yeah, no. Casey Kenny minus 310 on FanDuel. It just when you start getting into like the minus 300s and stuff, like it just gets a little uninteresting for me.
You know what would be interesting? Slightly. Just bet the first fight of the night as your 4th one this week.
Luigi, Vendramini versus Jessen. Dude, what is happening? The time is passing me by. I'm becoming Carlos Condit right now because now I'm seeing names that I don't recognize, and it's just, I used to know all of you motherfuckers. All of you. I knew what schools the wrestlers went to. I knew everything. And now I'm just this old dude. It's not old, but is old in this gambling world, I guess. I don't know. Hey, dude, I can't think of a 3rd or 4th bet. This is what
you already made your 3rd one. It's Holly.
Fine, fuck it. I'll go with the Holly. I'll lock that in just to, because if I'm gonna tease it or if
you might as well follow through.
Tout it, yeah, might as well take it. So far, what do we got here? What do we got going on? We'll look at the bet slip. We've got Court Mcgee. Minus 142. So we'll take 2 units on the Mcgee. We'll do 2 units on the GDR money line. And then we will do half a unit on the Holly money line. Place that bet. And then we'll Holly home, minus 118. We'll put the half unit on that. Not good at talking and doing things at the same time, so we are kind of not filling up time at the best. You know what? I don't know why, and I'm probably going to be wrong. That's why I'm only going to do half a unit with it. But why is Daquan Townsend's plus 270 line just like staring me in the face?
I think he's going to get submitted.
He's fighting a middleweight at light heavyweight.
Other guy's a good grappler. And
Michelle Pinheiro.
Daquan's just, I don't know, man. My intelligence guy gave me that info. He'll also be featuring on this episode of MMA Attic, MMA Island's own Underdog Island, Mal Pacino.
Ooh, Jorgen De Castro.
That's a fucking great fight. I like both of
There's
those heavyweights.
a face I remember. I'm looking at these names, and it's just like nothing's clicking with me. And it's, I don't know what it is. Minus 265. Fuck it. We'll just take that. We'll throw 2 units on the minus 265 because we have to take a fourth bet.
Yep, you gotta.
There we go. So we've got it locked in. We've got Holly, we got GDR, we got De Castro, and we got Mcgee. All favorites. Again, I want to note that I started this entire shindig by saying how fucking awful this card is. I will be flipping through other sports, so make sure to be keeping an eye on the Action Network. It's at myaction.app/ePennybets. Or if you just go into Action Network and look up ePennybets, that works too. However you want to go about it. But if you go on there, you'll probably see me betting some playoff baseball because baseball matters again. Hockey's over, which sucks. I don't know what to do with myself now that I don't have the Stanley Cup. I guess I'm just going to double down on the KHL.
Watch some soccer.
I'd rather not gamble. Because if you look at my Action Network, my soccer picks are shit. I hate soccer, and I'm constantly yelling at them to just fucking hit each other. I need the contact, you know? I need there to be violence in the sport in order for me to be fully invested in it. Baseball is like the only non-contact sport I can watch.
Because they're smashing dingers.
They're just ripping dingers with the boys with fat lip, you know?
Do we got a fucko degenerate parlay of the week? Or do I have to make it up?
I don't know. Okay. So, to get interesting with it.
This is a get-rich-quick scheme every week, Eddie.
Okay, so method of victory, we're going to take Mcgee on the points plus 125. That's going to be the first leg of the parlay. So we're already at dog odds. That's good. And then, you know what? GDR, here's where we're going to get spicy with it. GDR by KO TKO plus 340.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. All right. So now we're getting interesting with it.
So you're gonna add one more. It's a three play parlay.
I'm going for that main event now. I'm looking at it, going right past the prelims.
Just bet Aldana by knockout. Just do it for the.
I just don't see
parlay
it
pick of the week.
You know, I can take Holly by KO or by the points at minus 115. It's a double chance FanDuel exclusive.
Word. That's pretty good.
I feel like that is
a good pitch.
Watch. This might be like the ultimate fade parlay of all time. So at plus 1751, we don't have quite the odds that we used to have, but for a unit wins you back 17 and a half. So the odds are worth it in that sense. So we'll throw a unit on it. We'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
But yeah, yep. That's pretty much what we're going with here. I apologize for, not having more excitement in it. I'll tell you, already looking at the lines for next week, I mean, we got I can never say his name right. It's Chikese.
Chikese, yeah.
Yeah, Chikese. That's a fucking hell of a name. Also hell of a fighter. He's a dog against Omar Morales. That looks very interesting. We got
Morales is pretty good.
We got Tom Breeze finally making a comeback. That was England's great hope when Bisping.
Bro, I thought that dude was a made up character on UFC 3.
No, dude, he was a mythical legend. He was so good when he came out of the woodwork. We got Bruno Silva fighting. He's a huge dog. Are we in a slump right now? No, we're not in a slump. We got Edson Barbosa versus Makwan Amirkhani. And
that's going to be fire, and everyone's counting Makwan completely out of it.
Oh, not this fuck. I hate Makwan. His face pisses me off. That fucking stupid smirk on his face.
I love it.
It just is like, I've wanted so many people to just knock that stupid fucking smirk off his face, and they haven't. So now at this point, I'm like, fuck it. All right, I'm on board. At least let's win back some of the money that we've lost on this stupid fucking asshole and his smirk and being able to just out grapple everybody. Guy against like Edson, you got to think the 145 cut is definitely going to affect the cardio. You saw it a little bit with the Ige fight. That third round, he was just not there like he was in the first. And I think, the story's kind of out on how to beat Edson, and it lets people know just how good of a grappler somebody is because of how good of a striker he is. So this show quickly just moved to next week. That's how fucking not interested in this card.
Well, before we give away everything for next week, I'm going to go ahead and call it. That's Intro to Degeneracy for UFC Fight Island Week 2 of Session 2. Fight Night Home versus Aldana. We've been joined by Eduardo Pennybets, the Magnificent. Let us know where we can find you, Chief, on all platforms. We're going to blow you up.
Ah, shit. I thought I was going to be all slick and just hit you with an hasta luego and then be able to bounce. That's like one of the few things in Spanish I have that down. That and lo
you can
siento.
close it. Just when you're done, we'll both say hasta luego. How about that?
It's the moment's lost. Moment's lost. But no, you can find me on Twitter, Pennybets, the cartoon character, self-proclaimed king of Russian sports gambling. Same thing on Instagram, but it's Eddie Pennybets instead of Pennybets. Action Network's Pennybets. You can go on whatthefucknetwork.net, find some of my shit, some old booger videos, and then a blank page waiting for Slick to post content on it.
Ooh. Yeah, the dudes at What the Fuck Network are probably pretty mad at me at this point.
To be honest, I completely forgot about it up until this moment.
Dude, I bet they hit me up tomorrow. They're like, "Hey, bro.
Hey, guy, I got an offer.
Hey, bro.
I got an offer for you that you can't refuse.
You can't refuse." All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Intro to Degeneracy, and we're out of this bitch. Thank you, Eddie.
Hasta luego.
Fuck you.